Yo, what's going on, guys? EK9 here, bringing you guys another State of the NHL, and today we'll talk about one of the best teams in the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche. Let's take a look at their team right now. They've got Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Jonas Donskoy, Nazem Kadri, Andrei Burakovsky. They got Tyson Jost, JT Compher, Vladislav Nemesnikov, Valeri Nichushkin, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, Matt Nieto. Pretty good offensive team. They got a lot of depth there. On the defensive end, they've got Ryan Graves playing with Cale Makar, Ian Cole with Sammy Girard, and Nikita Zadorov. And I know this says Mark Barberio, but it's actually Kevin Connaughton. And their goalies are Pavel Francouz, and it would be Philip Grubauer, but he is currently injured, and the backup would actually be Michael Hutchinson. So that's the look of the Colorado team as of right now in the playoffs. They do have some injuries. Colin Wilson is injured. Eric Johnson is injured as well, one of their big defensive presence. Matt Calvert is injured for this team, as well as goaltender Philip Grubauer. So they've been struggling a little bit with injuries, especially with their starting goalie, Philip Grubauer, as well as Eric Johnson, a really good defenseman for that team. That's been a big series difference for them in Dallas. Dallas does lead the series 2-0 in the playoffs. So that makes up a little bit of why they may be losing some of their games. I've been watching them. They don't look like they have the heart that they should. They don't look that strong. It looks like it's just McKinnon doing everything, and they're not really doing much else. So hopefully they come back. I had Colorado in 6 in that series. But aside from that, let's get back to this video. Cap space, they currently have 5.4 million, so they are not too bad on cap. They will free up another 1.5 million from the Brooks Orpik buyout. They will free up another 2.7 million from retaining Tyson Barrie's salary, and they are more than likely going to let Colin Wilson go at the end of the season. I'm not 100% certain, and if they do, that will free them up another 2.6 million. They do have a lot of expiring contracts. Michael Hutchinson's is up, Nikita Zadorov, Ryan Graves, Mark Barberio, Kevin Connaughton, so a lot of defensive players. Andrei Burakovsky's is up, Vladislav Nemesnikov, Matt Nieto, Tyson Jost, Valeri Nichushkin, and Alexei Kamenev. So they got a lot of players that are expiring. They should be able to re-sign them based on the amount of cap that they will have. I'm assuming they're going to let a few of those defensemen go. Maybe bring up Bowen Byram. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think that they're definitely going to let a few of those defensemen go, free up a little bit of cap space, so that way they get most of their forward core re-signed. They do have quite a few top prospects as well. They got Bowen Byram, they've got Connor Timmins, they've got Martin Kaut, as well as Newhook as well is another player that I wanted to talk about. He's very good. He had a really good season. Alex Newhook in the NCAA has been playing out of his mind, and he could maybe see himself in a roster spot as of next season. The Avalanche are a pretty young team. They got a right mix of veteran presence as well as young prospects. Their forward core averages the age of 26 and a half. Their defensive is about 27. They finished with a record this season of 42, 20, and 8 with 92 points. That's second in the Central, 2 points shy of the St. Louis Blues, who are out of the playoffs as of right now. All in all, I think Joe Sakic has put together a really good team. I think when they moved Duchesne, everyone flamed Sakic, said he should be fired, said he's an idiot, doesn't know what he's doing. But, I mean, all the pieces fell into play. Now they got Bowen Byram, they've got Cale Makar, they've got so many great defensive prospects, Connor Timmins. They've got a great team here with Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen. They acquired Nazem Kadri for Tyson Barrie, and everyone said the Leafs dominated that trade as well, and it's looking like Joe Sakic won again. I think this team is very good. They got so much depth offensively, and they've got a really good defensive core. I think if Eric Johnson's in that lineup, that team has a very, very lethal defensive core, especially with a guy like Cale Makar and Sammy Girard, two very young defensemen who are playing very good, as well as Ryan Graves. And I think this team's going to be a force to be reckoned with for the next few years. I don't see this team going anywhere rather than up. They look very good. They're not going to be too strapped on cap for another 2-3 seasons. I think once Makar gets his contract, this team might go to fall into cap hell a little bit. but that's still a few years away. So this team's still going to be pretty deadly, and I think maybe this is when Byram gets a spot next season, and then they can have that 1-2 punch of Byram and they can have Cale Makar. And then that puts Sammy. I know they have Sammy Girard on the second line right now, but that could keep him there. And then they've got a very good top four, especially if they keep Eric Johnson. That's going to be very, very lethal. As well, they got all the right pieces. This team has a very good team, offensively, defensively. The only thing that they really, really need to make sure that they can go all the way, I think, is a very strong goalie. Philip Grubauer has proven himself. He's proven that he wasn't just a backup when he was in Washington, and he can handle the starter role. However, I don't think he's a top goalie. I think they need to acquire someone that, it's a little more consistent, a little stronger between the pipes, and I think that's going to make the difference for this team. Maybe go after a guy like Fleury at the end of the season. I know that he's having some problems in Vegas. They're going with Robin Lehner over him, and the agent, Marc-Andre Fleury's agent, ended up tweeting a picture with like a sword stabbed into the back of Fleury, and the sword's labeled Peter DeBoer. So there's definitely some internal issues going on in Vegas regarding that situation. So if they acquire someone like that with experience, I know he's declining, but I know he can get the job done. He's a little bit older. Maybe sign him to a cheap contract. I think it makes a hell of a difference for this team. They have one of the best teams, and they've had one of the most successful rebuilds in the last few years. Let's talk about it. This team was garbage 2-3 years ago. Garbage. They were a dumpster fire team. They had a lot of issues, and it showed when they traded Duchesne. It completely showed. But this team has rebounded. They've turned things around. They're looking better and better each year. And I think adding Kadri, adding a few of those, Jonas Donskoy, I hated losing him in San Jose, but man, he's a hell of a player as well. And I think this team is very good. I think that they're going to be one of the best, and they're probably going to end up maybe winning a cup in the next few years. If they don't this year, probably soon. They're very strong. I have them for next year going 46, 26, and 10. So I think they're going to finish with about 102 points. Let me know your guys' thoughts. How do you think of these? What do you think of these Avalanche? How are they like? I know that they're not doing so well in the series against Dallas. Dallas is a strong team, though. They were one of my picks. I thought were going to do a lot of damage early on before the playoffs even started. I had them. They are very strong. They look good all year. They had a really rough start. They rebounded in this team. They look deadly. They got my boy Joe Pavelski there. But I think this Avalanche team's strong. If you guys let me know what your predictions are. Do you guys think this team's 102 points next season? Better, worse, anything like that? Also, we got a lot more videos coming out today. We've got I got a video on Hut Rivals coming out. I also have the pack opening for being top 100 in Hut Champions, as well as our giveaway winner today. So tune in for that. That's going to be about 5 o'clock Eastern time tonight. So make sure to tune in for that. A lot of videos coming out, a lot of good content. So keep in tune, guys. Let's keep it going. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like. Like I said, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on those Avalanche. And if you haven't hit that sub button, guys, hit that sub button, because we do have some awesome content coming along. All right, see you guys soon.